Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Tell-Alls Driver Interviews with Bobby Fazio and Walt Walker. It's Tuesday already. Tuesdays keep flying by. We're in 2026 already, which these years keep flying by. I can't believe 2016 was 10 years ago. Anybody ever think of that kind of stuff? Like 1990 to 2000 felt like 2 lifetimes. 2016 to 2026 felt like, I don't know, 2 weeks. So anyways, January 13th. And happy to have you guys all on here tonight. I had a little hiccup there trying to get the show started, hitting the let's go button, and I don't know, it was giving me a little delay. So hopefully you guys can all hear me, you can all see me, and I redid the office here. I got a new background. I've got Wallies all over, and I never really could tell if like anybody could ever see them in the background, but hopefully now you can. So all right, I was a somebody at one time in my life, and you guys can all see it behind me now. All right, guys. I got Walt Walker in here. Going to bring him in as soon as I can find that button. You think I've been doing this for like 5 years, and I still can't find the right buttons to hit sometimes. And we got Richard Gadson tonight, 2025 Pro Stock Motorcycle Champion and local guy to me, Philly guy. And I swear I saw that he like lived in New Jersey at some point, so I have to ask him about that tonight. And I mean, races motorcycles, but came up through the ranks. I'd never raced motorcycles before. I guess I'm too much of a chicken to do that. Rode motorcycles for a little while, but never went down the quarter mile. So we get to ask him all about that tonight. And as always, joined by my good friend and fellow super stock racer, Walt Walker. Let's bring him in. What's up, Walt? How you doing?
Let's go. Happy Tuesday, Bobby.
Happy Tuesday.
I'm back.
Hey, there he is. He
I'm
still
back.
got it. He can still
I'm
do it.
back. We're here. We're here. How are
He's
you in
feeling
the
better.
Northeast?
I'm good, man. You feeling better now? Like,
I am. I'm feeling better. I may not be 100%, but we'll get out there and we'll make it happen. We were
right?
down for maintenance last week. Whole body was down for maintenance.
Walt left me hanging. He left me in the trenches taking grenades last week. And I guess I'm like, I don't know if I'm like fully healed yet or what, but like, I don't know. I'll give myself a 90% here. So what's up, Chuck Weisberg? How you doing? Hope the flu flew. Thank you. Sure did. All right, we got
Yeah.
the comments flying in here.
There you go. What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? I'm excited about this show today, Bobby.
Yeah, me too. Because I mean, I know that people know us for sportsmen, for stock, super stock, and everything. But when we get somebody on here who has made it and worked through the ranks, it's just as good to me. I like having somebody new on that can like maybe help and guide us to
Yep.
into that same path, right?
Absolutely.
So let me see if I can hit the right button for a third time. Let's go for the trifecta here, and let's bring Richard Gadson in. Richard, are you there?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on, Richard? How are you tonight?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm here. Much like you, I hear you down for maintenance. You were sick last week. I had a similar situation pretty much throughout the whole Christmas holidays, man. So I'm happy to be back feeling good and we back at work and just looking forward to this 2026 season.
Yeah, that sounds great. Now you're a one-time NHRA champ, but overall you're like a six-time champion, right?
Yeah, that was the 2025 Pro Stock Championship was my sixth. I've got some in a class called Super Stock or Super Sport, which is basically a stock wheelbase factory showroom floor class. I got two in Pro Mod motorcycle, and then I have one in an index class called a 460. It's just a 460 index class, one of the toughest classes in drag racing. I've got one in that too. So I can talk on the index bracket side with you guys too.
Now, that's amazing. That's amazing. A lot of people, when they see the pro guys, they don't know that some of these guys came from looking over their shoulder and holding a couple numbers and doing all of that stuff too. And that hones your skills in a lot of ways to make consistent runs, wouldn't you think?
I think that that's the biggest thing. I think that the bracket index side of things teaches you disciplines that you need in heads up racing. Like, not saying you can't be good if you don't do it, but I think there's certain disciplines what you train yourself to repeat, to do the same thing over and over and over and over. again. And I think that in a lot of fashions carries through to the heads up racing, your awareness of the racetrack, your awareness of where your competitor is without it being a distraction, because you have to know these things, right? Your awareness of what kind of run am I on, whether I was good on the tree, not good on the tree. You already know all that stuff as soon as you leave the start line. So I think those disciplines help me in what we do right now, to be honest with you. I don't think one of my biggest turning points this year, I really feel like, was my girlfriend's grandfather invited me to go to Bunker Hill, which is actually a racetrack owned by Terry McMillan, former NHRA Top Fuel racer. They had a $10,000 bracket deal for motorcycles. And I went up there. I entered 2 classes: the no box class, and I think the other class was a box class. I think for the $10,000, you could do whatever you want. But I didn't have a box on my bike, and I won both classes. That was 19 rounds of racing in one day.
Wow!
To win both classes. So I thought that was kind of like my turning point. That was my first time winning anything in the last 2 years, and that was a big confidence booster for me. I went and won Bristol the very next week.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And it's see, a lot of people, like our guys, super stock guys, they don't know that all of this stuff is going on. But like my buddy Craig Trouble, when he was running pro stock bike, he'd jump on a bracket bike and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Michael Phillips would go jump on a no bar bike and go somewhere. And I mean, and just keeping the skills sharp and making laps and being just making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be at every lap, every time. And for us car guys, we might be in a 3,000-pound car, 3,500-pound car, and if you're a 200-pound driver, you're just a small fraction of that. But on a bike, especially when I know the numbers vary now, but if you're on a 650-pound bike and you're a 150-pound ride, that's a bigger percentage. Every move you make affects the performance of that vehicle, right?
Absolutely. Well, we got to be 660 pounds combined. So the motorcycle itself is only, let's say I'm 155 in my full suit, helmet, and everything. And we have about 70 to 80 pounds of weight on our motorcycle to make 660 pounds. So the bikes themselves are only about 415, 420-ish, I would bet, without the weight added on it. But even with the weight added on it, it's still a sub 500-pound vehicle, and I'm 155 pounds of it, or about a 500-pound vehicle. So it's definitely a big percentage, and that's why you see it matter so much. What our rider input matters a lot on these motorcycles. We're scrubbing hundreds off with just body movements and all kind of stuff, man. The most minuscule things. And that was one of the things I had to adjust to, because in pro mod racing, which was the class I raced before pro stock, and in pro street, they're nitrous assisted bikes. Well, I'm always a nice. Some of these other guys got turbos and all that. I don't do turbos, but I don't do hair blow dryers. But on the nitrous bikes, it's a wrestling match. Like, the thing's on the wheelie bars the whole time until you shut the throttle off, and it wants to go wherever it wants to go. So you kind of like you wrestling the bike, trying to get it to stay in the groove or stay where you want it to go. And or the pro street bikes, the no bar bikes, some of them have are wheeling, doing a 180-mile-an-hour wheelie at the 8th mile. So you use a lot of body English. It's totally different on the pro stock motorcycle. You want to use as little body English as humanly possible, and you want to really set the bike up to do what you need. And even if you do need to make a correction, it's just, you can just barely peek your head out. Some people use their feet, some people use their butt, some people use their shoulders, whatever. Everybody's got different ways. I'm not going to say how I do it, because my competitors might be watching. But you make your small correction, and the bike typically responds right away.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about the body weight. I'm more concerned with like wind, the gust of winds. I mean, what you do is, if anybody's told you this, Richard, this is kind of dangerous, to be riding this fast on these motorcycles here, right? So, do you ever get nervous about like the gust of wind down there at mid to finish line, or?
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't feel it as much as you think. You really, I think with the full fairings on our bikes, they're not as affected as you might think. But trust me, there are races when like Chicago, I think this year, when I don't know if y'all saw, but there was literally like a desert sandstorm that went over the whole racetrack. It was crazy, but it was that windy, and we didn't make, I think, 2 of the qualifier runs, I think, or one of the qualifier, I think Friday night, and I think it was the same thing for Gainesville, because you get out there and you got to remember, we only have about 2 inches of ground clearance from the bottom of the fairing to the ground. So if you get out there and it's really sideways on you and you start leaning the bike to correct, well, what happens is you lean it over so far that you'll put the body on the ground, which will then take weight off of the tires and it'll want to wash out on you.
Yeah.
So we try not to lean them too far. So if it's really, really, really windy, you got some riders who don't care. They feel like they can get it down the racetrack no matter what. But general safety of the class, the crosswinds will kind of get your attention, man. But I still get nervous, believe it or not. I think anybody that says they don't is a liar. I think I still get nervous about multiple different things. Sometimes just the racing itself. I think the difference between myself or people like me, obviously like you too, because you got a lot of Wallies back there. I think the difference between us and other people are, what do you do with those nerves, right? Like, I'm nervous. This round is a big round, how do you react to those nerves? And I think that's what makes the difference. It's not that you don't feel them. It's just that they don't affect you, I think, is the difference.
You control them, that don't let them control you. And I love hearing these kinds of stories from all of the racers that come on here. I want to know how they all approach that game. Because if you look at Walt, I mean, dude's stone cold. He doesn't even know what nerves are. But
he got some nice wine glasses back there, though, and stuff like that.
Yeah. That keeps me even killed. That keeps me even killed.
All right, no, man. I got to know though, how many you got back there?
I've got 10 here. I got a couple. I probably have about 4 or 5 more at my father's house. Now, 5 of these are for winning events, and then the other 5 are for winning class eliminations in stock or super stock. So,
got you.
Some of them are harder to win than others, I guess.
Than others, yeah, I got you. Hey, you got them though. That's pretty badass. You got more than me, so
thank you. Oh, man.
Sweet.
I'm not sweet. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Wally is hard to come by for sure.
You ain't lying, dude.
Oh man, but talking about the grassroots stuff and the passion and how anybody can hear you talk about how passionate you are about this stuff. And I know guys that on the sportsman level, or even before that, I know guys that went to the racetrack and had to pick up trash to make it home. So if they didn't win, they had to pick up trash at the racetrack to have enough gas money to make it home. And I know you have a story, or maybe several stories, about how passionate before you made it to this pro level, or how passionate in the things you went to get to the racetrack, or to stay on a motorcycle and to stay on the top of your game. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I got more stories of that than I probably should, to be honest with you. I got a couple friends, Mike Bello for one, Chris Jones for two, people who we would have a conversation on Sunday, and we look at each other and they'd say, we need to win, or else we in bad shape. I don't know how we getting home from here. You've exhausted every option to get there. I mean, I started a towing company back in 2020. With my luck, COVID hit the week after I bought the tow truck. But anyway, I remember I had got laid off from a job and I had a severance check, right? And I had been looking at tow trucks, and I found one that I liked in Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I was like, man, if I can go to this race. And I had a grudge race with a guy named Jeremy Teasley. I didn't have enough for the truck at this time. And I called the guy with the truck and I told him, hey, man, I'm going to be there. I want to come see it, potentially buy it, blah, blah. I knew I didn't have the money. And I was like, but if I can win this grudge race against Jeremy, if he actually does race, and if I can win either Pro Street or 460, I can buy the truck. And I did both, and went and bought the tow truck and started my company from it. But that's one of the success stories. It didn't always work out like that.
Now, Jeremy Teasley, I'm sorry, Jeremy Teasley is like, I'm going to go win this grudge race against Dan Fletcher. or Peter Biondo's waiting on you, and you're like, I gotta beat
Yeah.
Peter Biondo
Yeah.
to make it home. But go ahead.
Oh my God.
30 time national champion, or however many. I think I lost count. He's probably got more than that.
Yeah, he's
But
a bad dude.
yeah, you know, just kind of crazy stuff, man. But that's what we do, right? We got a needle stuck in our arm, and to some people, when your back's against the wall and you have to perform, you kind of like, it's like, what does a man do when they're back to you? You fight your way out, you know what I mean? And you kind of, I guess it puts you in another gear. I call it racing like the rent is due. That's like my little like phrase. But I got more stories like that than I care to mention, man. But it's worked out more than it hasn't for me, thank God.
Where were these grudge races taking place? I mean, were you living in Philly at the time? Were you racing at ATCO a lot?
So born and raised in Philly, I started my racing career at ATCO in about 2002. I was just a kid. I think I was 14. And then and I after kind of like towards the, I think around 20, I think I might have moved away in 07, 08, moved to Virginia, and then I kind of been a journeyman ever since then. I've lived pretty much everywhere up and down the East Coast, Ohio. I've lived in all kind of places. So really, man, I've been all over the country, dude. Most of these grudge races are, I would say, MIR, Budds Creek, Maryland International Raceway, down to Florida, Orlando Speed World, and some in the Midwest as well, Texas. I mean, a little bit of everywhere, man. I've been traveling long before the NHRA circuit, that's for sure. But ATCO is ATCO raised me, man. I feel like some of the best racers in the country, car and motorcycle, come from up there. And every Tuesday night and Thursday night, ATCO used to have their test and tune nights. I would be at both of them. I would be at Englishtown Raceway on Wednesday nights. And I think Friday nights was Englishtown. And then ATCO had their Sunday deal too, except the bikes couldn't get many runs on Sundays because that's when all the car guys were. Like, it would be around the back of the staging lanes on Sundays. But sometimes I go on Sundays too, man. But ATCO in Englishtown, I didn't go to Cecil County much. I probably only went to Maple Grove once in my life, even when I lived there. But ATCO in Englishtown and a little bit of Cecil County was pretty much my it's pretty much where I'm born and raised, man.
I know that subject is that's right up Bobby's alley right there. All those tracks and all that stuff. And what do you think about
ATCO's iconic, dog? It's like, you can't even describe it, man. The tower, that brick thing that you come underneath to go. I mean, like, the shutdown area was longer than the racetrack. It was just the lanes were this wide, like.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was a drag race. The air was always good. Like, so you get your best time slips there. It was just ATCO's iconic, man. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there. You were going to ask me something.
No, you're good. I just know that Bobby, because I've been to ATCO one time, but I know Bobby might have some questions about ATCO in that area, I would think.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the gut punch when they closed it, they did knock the wall. You didn't have to drive under the wall anymore. There,
I know. Yeah.
8 years, like 6, 8 years, which
I didn't like that. I liked going underneath the wall.
It was like bad luck. I didn't start winning there until they knocked the wall down. A couple of them are ATCO Wallies, but yeah, just I mean, the gut punch for it to be closed, it's only about 35 minutes in that direction right there for me. And where I live, it's getting difficult with all the changes that are going on. But
yeah, there's nowhere to race anymore other than Cecil County, pretty much.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors. I still kind of have a little bit of hope for ATCO because nobody's bought it or none of these rumors have seemed to be true. But the fact of the matter that there keeps being a rumor about somebody buying ATCO, and the fact that all of the things that were supposed to happen to, like, okay, first it was supposed to be, I can't remember what it was supposed to be, maybe an auto auction thing like Englishtown. Then it was supposed to be some industrial warehouse thing, and all these things keep falling through. So, maybe there's still hope. Maybe somebody with a bunch of money that likes racing and maybe they might still jump in there. What's up, Kaylin? So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I went to ATCO one time and they closed 2 days later, so I'm probably bad luck.
That's crazy. Yeah, you definitely
mush.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It's amazing because it was like a sold out event too, and there were so many people there. And then that post came out, and I was like, this can't be real. This is somebody's joking.
Yeah, it was very abrupt, man. Very abrupt.
I've had to tell my wife she's wrong before. That's about as stone cold as it gets. Oh boy. So yeah, where did you make your first like passes down a quarter mile? I know you followed your uncle was running pro stock motorcycle, correct? So I'm sure you were following him around and not just him, you have like a whole family of people that race motorcycles, right?
Absolutely, that's correct. Well, my grandfather's who started it way back in the 70s. He passed away in a motorcycle accident actually in 1979. I wasn't born yet, obviously. And then my uncle and my father kind of carried that torch. My father was more of a street racer. He raced a little bit at the track. He raced a class called Top Gas. It was a 820 index class. But he was big grudge racer, big street racer. And that's where my uncle started as well. He raced pro stock in short stints, a little bit here and there. He never really had a full-time deal in pro stock, but he was really mostly known for his no bar racing. And he was pretty much he's a 14 or 15 time national champion. In the no bar world, he was the first rider to bring factory sponsorship in the drag racing with Team Kawasaki, and he had Rob Muzzy and Team Kawasaki as his primary sponsor from I think 1998 to 2005, and then they came back on from 2008 on until maybe 2014 or 15. But I think he had a really long career as a factory-backed rider at Kawasaki. So, one of the most successful drag racers in the history of the sport. So I kind of was brought up underneath him, and he's from Sicklerville, New Jersey. That's why you said in the beginning, I thought you lived in New Jersey at some point. But that's my uncle you're thinking about. He lived in Sicklerville. And my junior year in high school, I actually moved to Sicklerville to live with him. I went to high school in North Philly, but I drove back and forth from Jersey because all I wanted to do was, after I got off school, remember I told you those Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I get out of school with high schooler gets out of school and goes to the racetrack. That's what I would do. So I moved to Sicklerville so that I could do that. And I just drove back and forth to school. And at some points it was called public transportation back and forth to school, to high school. So, came up underneath him, going to all the races with him and basically videoing and just learning about as much as I could. I was always a sponge. I always listened twice as much as I talked. I always, he had some of the best crew chiefs in the world. I just sat there and listened to him talk. I didn't just want to know how to ride the bike. I wanted to know about the bike, and I think that's one of the things that's kind of been a little bit of a cheat code for me has been my ability to not only ride the motorcycles, I can tune the motorcycles. I understand the clutch. I understand the chassis. I understand the relationship of all of those together, and what it does. And that way, when I make a pass down the racetrack, I'm coming back and I'm 2 steps ahead of the dude who I race, who's got to tell his crew chief what he thinks. Then his crew chief has got to try to interpret what he said and then make a call for next round. Whereas though I'm like, oh, I already know what's going on. I know what it is. Let's just do this. And I think that's been something that's kind of been a cheat code for me. But yeah, it's a family lineage that I've come from, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the name, and it's definitely carried me places. But I never imagined where I'm at right now. But that's why we play this game, man. You just keep trying to get higher, keep trying to elevate. Just wanted to make them proud, and here we are.
Yeah, that's really cool. You talk about different crew chiefs. Did you get a chance to hang out with Harry Latique when your uncle rode for him those few times?
No, I didn't actually.
Harry's a real sharp guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't. That phase, I was a senior in high school, and I didn't get a chance to go to those races at that time. But the NHRA side of things, and he didn't race long enough to come East Coast.
Right.
Like all the races he took me to in the beginning were AMA Pro Star. And all of that stuff was mostly East Coast based, so it was easy for me to get there and home, et cetera, et cetera. When he started going to NHRA, it was a little bit too much traveling for a high schooler. But Harry actually, after when I won the championship, Harry actually, I don't know how he got my phone number. I think he got it from maybe Michael Phillips. And
Yeah,
yeah,
Harry knows everybody. He
yeah,
knows everybody at your job.
for sure. I know. Harry Lartigue and Reggie Showers, actually, another Philly guy.
Yeah.
Harry Lartigue and Reggie Showers both reached out. And Harry told me, he says, man, you did something I tried to do for 40 years or 30 years.
Yeah.
He said, you know, I spent, I don't remember the dollar figure. He said it was a lot of money, you know, to do what you did, which was be the first African-American to win a NHRA Pro Stock Motorcycle Championship. And he says, you know, I commend you. You did what I did was what I was trying to do for 30 years. And Reggie said something similar. So, you know, really happy to have people that I pretty much idolized, grew up watching and have a lot of respect for now life to come full circle, and they're double backing and having that same kind of respect and admiration for me is pretty humbling deal, man.
Absolutely.
What's up, Tristan? I just saw a comment. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm listening, guys.
Yeah, it's a few. And somebody was asking about a street. What?
Danny Davis wanted to know if you did any street racing in Philly, Bartram and Front Street.
Nah, man. I never really got into street racing, man. I'm always been a fair and square guy. I couldn't do the 2 tires break as a race thing, and you know, I never really got into the street stuff. Once I started at ATCO, I like to be able to get a time slip for what I did. I want to know if I was better or worse, right? So once I started at ATCO, I kind of stuck with it there, man. And I've done a little bit of playing around out there, launches and just messing around, but never really got into the street side of things. I'm also not a gambler. Fun fact, all the grudge racing I've ever won in all my life, I've never bet a penny. Never bet $1 and on anything I've ever done in my life. And I've won. I've done a lot of grudge racing, but you know, I don't know. The streets just wasn't for me. You got to know your limits, and that was beyond mine.
All right.
I was out there though. I watched.
That's good. Brian Moody, who used to announce at Englishtown, said he got a chance to sit down and announce a bike race with Ricky, your uncle there, during a top street bike race at Englishtown Class Act.
Yep.
So.
Thanks, man. Yeah, those are the good days. Top street bike. I remember that, man. Good racers up there. Hard deal to win up there.
And Brian Moody still races. He races Top Sportsman now, and actually has the Lenko transmission in his Top Sportsman car, which I think is pretty cool. So he said earlier he's going to be at the Stick Shift Nationals in June. So look forward to seeing you, Brian Moody. Hey, Richard, what high school did you go to now? I'm curious.
I went to George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science. They call it ENS in Philly. But yeah, I went there, and then I went to Widener University in Chester, Pennsylvania for college before I decided that I was better off chasing a career in drag racing than to stay in college. Still undecided whether that was the right move or not, but you know, whatever.
We'll ask you in 20 years. We'll ask you in 30 years. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I always tell people, because I used to teach at a high school down the street from Widener University.
Really?
And, before I moved to New Jersey, I used to teach in Chester. I teach math. So did you go to Widener for engineering then?
Yeah, I went there for mechanical engineering. It was always this racing thing, man. Like, I thought that all that stuff would tie in to this in some kind of fashion. Like, the whole plan. I say in a lot of the interviews or statements that I make that I never had a plan B. Like, that's the truth. It was like all I ever wanted to do since I was a kid was this right here. And I didn't want to be a doctor, a lawyer. I didn't want to do anything other than race. So, so I went to high school for engineering and science. Then I went to college for mechanical engineering, all because I thought that it would help lead me here. And it probably would have had I saw it through. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I do apply to this day. But like I said, once I got to the point, I was like, I think I got a job offer at HTP Performance in Richmond, Virginia. And I thought that was smarter than staying in school. So I went to the School of Hard Knocks, man, went to the racetrack.
How many years did you put in there at Widener before that happened?
I think I did a year and a semester. Okay. Like it was the first semester of my second year. And then I left. I think I was 19 years old, left Philly. And, I went back. I moved back for short stints. I might have had a girlfriend or something like that up there and thought I needed to be back closer to her or whatever, or I fell on my face at whatever I was doing or wherever I moved to, and I just needed to come home and stay on mom's couch or something like that. I moved back home a couple times, but for the most part, I've been gone since 19.
And all of those different aspects, and I'm sure it all led you to where you are now. I mean, you can, like you said, you can work on the bike from front to back. You know how to ride on all different aspects and feedback and all of that stuff. Tell us about what you do day to day now that you're hired for Vance and Hines, because some people just don't know, obviously, that if you're a hired rider, you may be just a guy that stands at the fence and signs autographs and fly in and fly out, and and other people hold your bag and your umbrella and all of that stuff for you.
No, that's not the case. I wish that was the case. No, actually, I don't know if I wish that was the case, to be honest with you. I like to learn. I really like learning, man. Once I get to the point where I have nothing else to learn, or I don't think I have anything else to learn, I typically get bored. Working at Vance Hines, when they offered me to ride, I basically told them that I needed a job if I was going to even do the ride, and it ended up working out where we did both. And right now, what I do is I do product development, I guess we'll call it, for we make a standalone ECU, plug and play ECU for single cylinder dirt bikes, 450s and 250s. Basically, me and Matt Hines, former NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle champion as well, pretty much spearhead that. I do all of the mapping. So basically, taking a standalone ECU, putting it on a bike with no base map, no startup map, no anything, and then turning it into a full, basically OEM quality, factory quality map file is what I do. I do a little bit of exhaust development for design and development for the inline four stuff, Hayabusas, GSXR 1000s, ZX14s. I do all of the basic maintenance. I would say tear down and maintenance of all the pro stock bikes, all three of them, even gauges. So it gets pretty tempting. Put a nail in his tire or water in his gas tank or something. But no, I don't do anything. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I do all the maintenance on all the pro stock bikes. And whatever else, we're all floaters, man. In that building, they teach you on everything. I can run a lot of the machinery, not the CNCs, but the manual machines. I can do a lot of that stuff. Just a little bit of everything, man. I would say those guys kind of take you wherever you think you are in your career, however smart you are. Then if you can go in there and absorb with Byron, Andrew, Eddie, and everybody else, there's 25 of us in that building. If you go in there with a sponge mindset, it can elevate your career to a whole nother level. And that's pretty much where I am right now.
Yeah, that's amazing with all your experience, and you come in and join a team. And I mean, Vance and Hines is Vance and Hines, and they've been that for all of our lives. But just not to say that you think you know everything, but you walk in there and you say, "Well, I've experienced this, and still light bulbs are going off here and there, and you're like, "Oh, wow, this is a different level."
It works like that because that's one of the things that I think makes us so deadly right now. Is Eddie and Andrew are really good by themselves. If they didn't have me or Gage, they're really good by themselves. But when you take two people who rode and tune, and then when they got off the seat, they got riders who ride and tune, it kind of really it made this big mesh bowl of people who all have really good ideas. And we sit and we have good chemistry, and we have good understandings of each other and respect for each other. So we can all sit and say, man, I think this, or I think that, or whatever the case may be. And we get to try some of those things in competition. They all don't work. But I think that our level of, when we get back to our level of being able to maximize a run, to be able to make a 99% run where somebody else might make an 85%, we might not have any more power than the next person. We might just be squeezing every drop of lemon juice out of what we got, as opposed to somebody else who might still have some on the table because of our ability to kind of kind of feed off of each other in our experiences.
Yeah, that's just about every form of like pro stock and everything, because a lot of the engine platforms now are kind of close, but it's who can make the perfect run at the perfect time, or as close to perfect as we can make it.
Right. I mean, Eddie might say something like, "Hey, look, I'm going to make a change in a certain something part of the racetrack. I want you to tell me what you feel." He won't tell me what he did. He'll just say, I'll make a change. And when he gets to the top of the racetrack and we're pushing back, I'm telling him, yo, I felt this right here. And he's like, all right, cool. That's what so it's things like that where you might learn the right or the wrong way to go on the tune-up from something like that. Or sometimes he won't tell me at all. And then my just general feedback, and I'll say, man, it felt like it laid over in fourth gear. And he'll be like, I'm glad you said that because I did something there. So it's just, man, some of these things are some of the things that make us as tough of a team as we are. I know people think we buy the rules and all the crazy stuff that the internet says, man. People have no idea, man. That stuff's crazy. And I won't be mad at those people because before I ruled for them, that's what I thought too. Those were the things that I believed as well, because that's the narrative that's out there. But no, man, it's really just these guys are really, really, really good at extracting every piece, every little bit out of the bike, and they got so much data, man. We can go from Florida to freaking California and hit the ground first pass off the trailer and run within a couple hundredths of what the conditions will allow right away. They know the racetrack, they know the lanes, they know the whole deal. So that's why they're so good, man. We don't buy the rules. Y'all cut that out.
Yeah, and just to address that, and I mean, there was I think a political era before you got on there, and it was different manufacturer type. That was different. But when it comes to innovation in drag racing, we need innovators. We need people to push the envelope. So this is how the rule book has been written since 1951. It's been 75 years, and the rule book is steady evolving. So if you're going to have engineers and innovation in a sport, yes, there's going to be stuff that came up, and it's going to get passed and pushed through the proper paperwork to get in the rule. But that's happening in every class, everywhere throughout drag racing. So yeah, if you want to, if Vance Hines wants to innovate, and if any team, Elite, KB, John Force, whatever team you want to innovate, you gotta. That's the only way the classes are going to advance. We don't want to keep going the same ET, or we want to see innovation. That's what drag racing was built on: safety and innovation.
Absolutely, man. You gotta keep moving, or else you get left behind. And behind is a hard place to be. So we do it. Other teams do it. If we don't do it, somebody will pass us. Other teams do it, but it's just part of the game we play, man. I understand, like I said back in the day, I understand the dynamics were a little different with different manufacturers, and I can't speak on those times. I wasn't part of the class then, and I won't talk above my own experiences. But I know since I've been part of this team, my opinion of what they are in the class and what influence and who has what and everything, I have a front row seat as to how a lot of those things transpire, and I just kind of want to kind of debunk the narrative a little bit if in any opportunity I get to do so.
Yeah, and I've seen behind the scenes on some bike stuff, and it's, since we're talking to you, the bike stuff, it's like we said earlier, the rider makes a huge difference. I've seen people even before you, Richard, that we go somewhere and test, and I've worked for guys, let's say, and we go somewhere and test, and who we bought the bike from or bought the motor from, that guy, Dave Schultz, might jump on the bike, and Dave Schultz flies. And then our rider gets on the bike and we lose a 10th. Well, was it that Dave Schultz was cheating or cooking the books, or did he just outride the next guy?
Yeah, you got a lot of those variables in our class, man.
Yeah.
There's that, it's not like it's not all rules driven or all the bike is. You still have so much that's on the rider's shoulders. So that's what makes it really hard for NHRA to make a rule set. that is like, how do you keep parity in a class that the rider has so much input on, right? It's not like we got, some vehicle that just kind of on autopilot and your only job is to don't crash it and stay in your lane, right? That's not the case. We have so much control over what number pops on the scoreboard. So making a rule based on, like, when Gage was dominating, people were, Vance Hines is cheating, but it was just that one person. It was just that one bike and that one person. How do you make a rule for one person? Right. So, these are some of the nuances that make our class a little bit more of an interesting dynamic, which makes it really cool. Also, I think from a spectator standpoint to watch, I know typically, which I appreciate you guys having me on here, because typically car guys hate bike guys and bike guys hate car guys. Is that true? Do car guys hate bike guys? That's an all right. I'm going to shut up. I'm interviewing y'all. Do car guys hate bikes?
No.
No,
I don't. I've always respected the bike guys, man. I think that takes some. Now
you and Bobby probably about the same size. You never met Bobby. When y'all will be eye to eye. Y'all about the same size.
And I have he's trying to get us back for us cracking at him for not having the Wallies in the back.
No, I've came up on bikes, so I appreciate it all. I like all forms of it, and I understand how difficult it is to be successful on a motorcycle. And it was important for me to get you on in front of some car guys. And speaking of that, have you ever let go in a car or a fast car?
I made one pass in my life in a car at Atco Raceway. It was what do they call those? A Buick Grand National. Somebody had one. It was like a 1180 car. I think he went like 1180 something, and he let me drive it. And I was done when I went to go try to do a burnout. I couldn't even figure out how to mechanically get my feet. It was just all goofed up. And I think I went 1260 or something like that. And let me tell you, I don't know if it's Andrew says it's a different sensory, because we're used to being down and we take the G forces one way as opposed to sitting up and you take the G forces square on. But going 12 seconds in the car at that time in my life, I had only been like 9 something on a motorcycle, was like, it felt way faster. I think it's the amount of weight moving, the car moving around a little bit or whatever it was, but that feels fast to me. Maybe now it might be a little bit different. It might take a 9-second car to make me feel that way or something. I don't really know, but that's the only time I've ever driven a car. Do I want to? Pro stock car would be like, I would love to do that someday. I would like to drive some any kind of a sportsman car. What car is it? What class is there? Short wheelbase, and they do big wheel stands when they leave. It's a bracket car, but they do super stock. I drive super. I like factory stock a lot. That's the like Elite and those guys have those cars. They're like, is that factory stock I'm talking about? Factory stock showdown. Yeah, I would drive that class 100%. I'm kind of a normally aspirated guy. I like the challenges of trying to go fast, all motor. So that's kind of why you hear me pick those cars.
Yeah,
not a nitro guy. I'm not getting in a nitro car. I won't say I'm not getting in. I would say it would take some serious convincing of me to get in a nitro car. Top Fuel, not so much, but a funny car. It's like a strong. I don't even know when to sit in it while it's starting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
I don't even want to sit in it. How's that?
No. They used to do a deal that the champions would swap. I think John Myers drove a pro stock car, and who was that? Mark Powick, I think, drove his bike or something years ago.
I got to strike a deal with somebody to do something like that, because that would be
Corey.
Yeah, how that Corey Reed.
Yeah, Corey, because he could ride
and
the
Joey
bike, got a car.
Yep.
That'd be dope. I got to strike a deal with somebody to do something like that. That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, it would be.
And we got to invite you to watch. I mean, if you ever get any time to watch a round of stock or super stock from the starting line to see those big wheelies, or at the finish line to see all the games that go on down there, which
Oh,
you're
yeah.
aware of because you bracket raced.
You know what's funny though? Y'all were talking about earlier when you said about I know a little bit about holding numbers. I never could race that way. I never out, and I think that it maybe made me a little bit better in a sense of being able to repeat because I always dialed what I ran. I might have held 100th, maybe, but like I raced some other guys that hold 5, 6, maybe even more than that. I don't know how. I've never known how to. It never was my game, man. I always dialed what I ran and tried to run it. So with conditions in mind.
I mean, are
But
guys down there like womping the throttle on the bike, or are they just
man, they're doing more
holding
than
some
that.
brake?
I raced a guy named Dustin Lee in Tennessee one time, and I'm racing Dustin. I'm chasing him down. I'm like, why am I not catching him? I'm just at that spot where I'm thinking, if I can't catch him, I'm gonna just back out and make sure I don't break out. And he slammed on his brakes so hard that he yanked the back brake caliper off the motorcycle. He broke the bolts, came off the bike, and was dragging the ground from how hard he stepped on the back brakes. So they don't just whomp the gas, man. Some dudes will be out there doing all kind of stuff, man. They'll spray you in the middle of the track, then get up there, and that's too much going on for me. I'm having a hard time just trying to figure out what I got going on to be able to watch. I can't do all of that. So, but shout out to those guys who can do that stuff
at that speed.
Scott. And Dustin has won a lot in the bracket scene too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's got all the tricks in his bag also.
Yeah, for sure.
Their kneecaps have no roll bars.
That's a good one.
What's up, Pete Lanciers? How you doing from out in California? Here we got a funny story about Eddie Craywick, who used to be the manager at Englishtown.
Yeah.
So I look into Eddie Craywick's sense of humor. He was the track manager in 2006 when Moody started there. He asked a new on-track employee to check for a water leak on an air-cooled Volkswagen Beetle on Volkswagen Day.
That's funny as hell. Yeah, no, he's Eddie that's funny, man. We go to Englishtown and he'd be track manager doing all his work stuff, doing all his job, and doing everything he does. And then when the bikes would roll under the tower, here he comes out of the tower in his suit. And he'd make the run with us on his 600 at the time. He'd make the run with us. And then, after he come back, park his bike underneath the tower, go back up in the tower and start working again. So he kind of had his cake and got to eat it too. But, Eddie's been, I think that's one of the cool parts of our dynamic and what we do is Eddie's known me my whole racing career. He's known me since I was a kid. That's over half of my life. And he's, the first race I ever won was when Eddie got his deal with Yamaha right before his Vance Hines deal. He went to Yamaha and raced 600 Super Sport, and he sold. No, I'm lying. When he went to Vance Hines, he sold me the engine from his Kawasaki 600 that he had, which was like he always ran big speed. And I remember prom night. I dropped my girlfriend off at the diner where everybody went. I didn't even take her home on prom night. I don't even know who took her home, to be honest with you.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not good. I actually don't know. That's pretty crazy. But I dropped her off and drove to Baltimore and caught a red-eye flight to St. Louis. I had a race. And that was my first race with Eddie's motor in my bike, and it's the first race I ever won. I still had dye in my hair, earrings in my ears. It's a picture. Somebody just sent it to me the other day. But that's how far back me and Eddie go, man. He used to kick my butt. Michael Phillips, Chip Ellis. I don't think I raced Mike. I think he was already gone from 600 Super Sport, but Chip Ellis, Ryan Schnitz, Joey Gladstone came up through the same way. So many of us came from that Super Sport era, and I think it's taught us so much about finesse and being smooth. And these are the things that it makes good pro stock riders. But shout out to Eddie, man. That's my guy right there. It's my crew chief. We really busted our asses this year.
Yep. Shout out to Eddie. He's always been a cool guy.
Yeah.
Shout out Joey Gladstone, another local boy.
Another local. Yeah. See, we just keep naming them, man. I'm telling you, the best any region in the country. I'm saying this right here on here. Any region in the country, if you think you got more killers than the Delaware Tri-State, I'm gonna just call it Philly, Jersey, Delaware. Yeah, the Delaware Tri-State. Yeah. You think you got more killers, car and bike, bracket, heads up, it don't matter. We can go lap for lap.
They must fighting words to Walt, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, no disrespect to you guys down in Louisiana. No disrespect.
We had a couple guys.
I just think that, I really think we got a strong area, man. I'm talking about we got some strong ones.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Bobby and I talk about the regions all the time, and I got some good ones in my area, and y'all definitely got some great ones in y'all area. So
yeah,
it's some of them other areas in the country that we can go beat up on.
I'm sure there's other ones, man. I'm just proud of mine. You got Jackie Frick and Top Sport, and we just got. I mean, I could just keep going. We just got a lot of them, but
yeah. Oh, Jackie, that's a class act there.
Yep.
Do you? Well, Moody's asking another question here. I mean, now I want to ask you. You said you won't run Top Fuel, but how about this Top Fuel Harley? Like, have you run these nitro bikes?
I don't want to ride nothing. I gotta wear a bulletproof vest to get on.
Not good.
Now I'm confused. Okay, now we got a lot going on here. But no nitro Harleys for me either, man. If you really pay attention to those classes, Top Fuel bike, the inline fours and Top Fuel Harley, they're not really for guys that are small. All of those guys are like big grizzly bear dudes. Like, they're big men. They're tall. They don't care what they weigh. They're big men. Because those motorcycles weigh, I don't know, I think 1,000, 1,500 pounds. And the back tire is 14, 15 inches wide. It's not really, I don't have the physical stature to be able to really ride it that good. I think the wheelbase is really long. So you got to think, if the rider sits up far forward enough to be able to grab the handlebars, that means the back wheel is like way back there. So when you're going and you're trying to steer that, it takes a long time. You kind of steer, you kind of make the back wheel like the rudder of a plane, right? You're trying to push the ass end over to make it go that way, push it over to make it go that way. I'm 145 pounds without my suit on, and the motorcycle's 1,500. That's pretty hard or 1,000 pounds. It's pretty hard for somebody like me to do. So a man must know his limits, and that's beyond mine. Pro mod bike is about as far up as I go. I've ridden some motorcycles that go into 3 seconds in the 8th mile, with no wheelie bars and with wheelie bars. So I think I'm content with how fast that is, and I'm good there. I'll stop there.
Yeah, that's getting it. That's getting it for sure, for sure. Now, what this off season, and we're gonna let you go in a minute, but since you're in that area, and I'm assuming you're not riding anything here and there, y'all all shut down. How you staying sharp?
Man, this off season, honestly, I've been just enjoying my off season, man. I probably gotta lose 5 to 8 pounds before Gainesville. As you can see, I need to shave. I haven't even put a razor to my face since Pomona. Just enjoying the off season this time, man. I think, I spent so much of my career riding. And like you said, that's part of the things that keep you sharp. You get to see the tree a lot. You get to make passes a lot, and it keeps you in a rhythm, man. But as mentally taxing as this past year was to compete at that level, I opted this year. I would just want to rest. We had a big grudge race down in Orlando called Grinchmas from Kings of Grudge. Excuse me, guys. I opted not to go. I just kind of want to recharge my batteries, man, and come out 2026 refreshed and focused. So, still got my practice tree out there, and I watch the videos just to keep my mind a little bit on racing, but I'm kind of on a little bit of a hiatus right now, man. I'll be ready to go. It's like, Gainesville's got a pre-Gators test session. I think our plan is to go to that. I'll make 2-3 runs, and I think I'll be right back in the groove.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
How do you plan to lose that 5 to 8? Because I need to. So I'm 140. We're both 145. How tall are you?
5'3". I used to tell the ladies I was 5'4", though.
Me
you
too.
gotta add an inch on us,
right.
But
we're like the same person right now, and
you can come wear my suit and make it pass if you want. Just don't put your visor.
I missed my calling, Walt.
Yeah.
5 to 8. Yeah. Yes. These holidays were rough to me too. So what's your plan? What are you gonna do?
Man, I'm just up my water intake. and just ride my start when the weather breaks. I'll start riding. I used to pretty much all this year. I ride my bicycle back. We only had one car in the household for a while, and I rode my bicycle back and forth to work every day. It's 7 miles each direction. So I would ride my bike every day. Just go to the gym, light lifting, just for toning, burn calories, and drink as much water as I can, and just don't eat a bunch of bullshit. And it comes off. It's not too hard. I kind of get to 143 to 145 and hit a brick wall. I used to be able to get down to most of my racing career. I raced at like 135.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I don't know what happened. I think I'm just getting older, and it's like,
Right.
I mean, I feel like I'm the same size as I was. I feel the way I was, but the scale just laughs at me. The scale's like,
Right.
you can't get that other 5 or 6 that you used to have off. But I think I'll be fine. I'll get there.
So no Philly cheesesteaks, I guess. Did you have a favorite before you moved out of here?
I liked D'Alessandro's on Ridge
yeah.
Avenue, and I was really a gyms guy, man. Like, I liked gyms. A lot of people was but I like gyms. And now I'm hearing this place Max's down to South Philly with the Cooper sharp cheese is the best. I actually tried to go there last time I was in Philly, and I think I was in Philly and right before Pomona, a week before Pomona.
Yeah.
But they were closed. Yep, those are my favorites. No Pats and Geno's or none of that.
Yeah.
So
Alessandro's was big. Yeah, we used to get to go there after like a baseball game if we had to play against Roman Catholic or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
went there.
Yeah, I like D'Alessandro's.
Good for you. All right. All
All
right.
right.
I'm asking him about fitness. Go ahead. You can ask him
All right, Richard,
a question.
man, this your first time on there, and man, we had a good time. I know you've thanked everybody ad nauseum, I'm sure, but I mean, who you want to thank on this show that got you where you're at, or obviously got you to this 2025 World Championship.
Man, I want to thank you guys for having me on here. Thank everybody in the comments. Thank everybody watching. Thank Tristan Slezik. I don't know if I said your last name right, but that's a cool dude, man. He comes to the races. Really big NHRA fan right there, and of all classes, really, really cool dude, man. Really, man, just everybody, bro. I'm a person that's I feel like I got an army behind me in the whole racing community, especially the Northeast, and a lot of those people are what kept me going this year. A lot of the messages, a lot of the Facebook comments, people saying that they live vicariously through me. All of those things are what kind of kept pushing me, man. And right now I'm thanking the people in the comments that are still mad that this happened, because that's going to be my motivator for next year. So, that's pretty much it, man. The obvious, you can always thank the sponsors, obviously Revzilla, Motul, Vance Hines, Suzuki, and everybody you see on those wheelie bar panels, and NHRA. But, really want to thank the people more so right now.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. We got diamond wallets to get. So,
That's right. I got to get one of those things.
We'll go after them. We all need to get several.
Yes, sir.
Get
All right. Reconvening a year from now, and we'll count them all up. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be seeing you at the track. Thank you very much for coming on, man. Appreciate it. And thanks for teaching me a little bit more about riding a pro stock motorcycle. And
yes, sir. I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all be safe out there, man, and we'll be in touch. Hopefully we get to do this again soon.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
and good luck. Good luck in Gainesville. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, bud. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Goodbye.
What a nice guy. See?
Well, how about that, Bobby? You didn't know you were going to meet your twin today.
How about it? I know. And he's from right down the street, too.
Yep. Sure, y'all didn't walk past each other before. I wouldn't be surprised.
I know, right? We probably you ever wonder that? I always wondered that about people. Like how many times we crossed paths in life before we got to know each other. And
yeah. No, but I appreciate it. Thank you to Richard Gadson for coming on and dealing with our shenanigans. Do we have more, Bobby? What do we have? I'm sure something has happened. I've been out for a couple weeks, so.
Well, while you were sleeping, we've got a couple announcements, we'll say. All right, so we'll start with, well, let me shout out the birthdays, Walt, because I want to get that done. That's at the top of the list here, and I want to go in order, or if I bat out of order, I mess things up. But we've got some Dragon Sites birthdays. We've got Harvey Emmons, January 9th. That's Speedy, the oldest brother, correct?
Yep, that is Speedy.
We've got Nick Alejandre, January 11th. Happy birthday, Nick. Who else we have? Russ Abrams, January 12th. And we've got Leo Zinda and Maurice Jacques, January 13th. That's today.
Louisiana boy. Happy birthday, all. Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday. All right. Let's see. We've got Gainesville. Well, Gainesville filled pretty much like usual, Walt, on Wednesday morning. Despite a disruption in the server, in the system there. So I wasn't sure. I said last week while I was sick, I was like, it's going to gauge tomorrow. I didn't say I wasn't sure it was going to fill up, but I said tomorrow we'll find out. If it feels like normal, then it's business as usual. NHRA is like, still king, and we have no reason to think otherwise. But if it doesn't, then I know some people are in wait and see mode, because I'm kind of in wait and see mode by default where I live. But it was pretty quick, and even people that you would think weren't going to enter based on, I don't know, their feelings over the last several months, entered. So Gainesville's full, 70 cards.
It was a ploy to make sure that everybody didn't get in at one time. NHRA does need to do something about this. I'm gonna start petitioning. Maybe they could start working on a system this year, and it'll be in place for next year. That antiquated deal that they have is just, eventually they have to step into the 21st century or something, because it's crazy.
It is it's a kind of an antiquated website. It screams like 1998 on there. But we shall see. A lot of people enter. It's the Gator Nationals. Everybody enters as quickly as they can, whether they stay on the list or not. That's up for debate. There's posts out there about, there's always somebody who's asking for a spot. If you're going to withdraw, let me know. Then there's people trying to sell the spots, which I don't think is a good idea, because one of the, nice things that NHRA does for us is they allow you to withdraw and transfer that credit. And I don't want them to stop doing that.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
By the way, I do want to know, can somebody tell me how much it was to enter the Gator Nationals? Was it 400, 405, 410? Somebody let us know how much a national event entry fee is in 2026. Thank you very much, Blaze Cordier. Good stuff as always. Awesome for y'all to have Richard on. Absolutely. We appreciate you listening. Steve Zupka, Division I standout. Great interview, guys. He is an awesome dude.
Blaze, by the way, is a Cobra Jet guy. He's got a Cobra Jet down here in Texas in Division 4. He hadn't raced it much, but he'll be out hopefully next season.
Wow. All right. You mean the crash, says Tom Baker. The crash. 455. What? That can't be right. I thought it was going up $50. What, wasn't it 360 last year for a national? Tom, did it, or 410? Tom entered and he can't even tell us how much it costs.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Get out of here.
I agree, Tom. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Tom is in, and that's what really matters.
Tom is in, and I think he's in B-Stock Automatic, if I'm not mistaken. So good luck down there, Tom.
It's gonna be good.
By the way, go ahead, Walt.
I'm just saying, and NHRA system is definitely antiquated, but I have seen some of the newer programs crash from the bracket races when they open their entries too. A lot of times, just a lot of the traffic, I've seen them crash different systems. So I'm not saying that just because they crashed. I'm saying it because I think it's just antiquated. You know what I mean?
Well, it's happened before for that race. There are so many people trying to get into that race in every sportsman category. It's the most desirable race of the year. Second, maybe only to Indy, but even Indy probably doesn't have that many people trying to enter on a grade 8 because you get a little bit more time.
Right.
IHRA. some big news out of the IHRA here. Their schedule and payouts were just posted, which they will have 8 Nitro Outlaw Nitro series, which is basically their national events. They will have 3 Triple Crown events that are big money for Top Fuel and Pro Mods and all those categories. And there will be a finals event to be determined where that will be. So if anybody has any scheduling questions, I have a master IHRA, NHRA racing schedule on my website, driverinterviews.com, and it updates pretty darn near live. So when there are schedule changes and announcements, it gets put in there. Go check it out, driverinterviews.com. Just click on the racing schedule tab. You'll see the whole thing. Color-coded, too, by division and series.
An excellent resource. I'm sure Mike and Paula Cotton need to have that because they hit the most races out of anybody throughout the year. So
right,
it's perfect for them. But yeah, excellent resource for a one-stop shop. Check out all the different schedules.
Tim Stickles' Oldsmobile was looking good on the attention in the pits. I sent Joe Costello a message about that today. I said thank you for those good attention. He's done some good ones, some good class cars. So we always appreciate that. Joe, 6 B stock automatics at the Gators right now. So Tom Baker's probably getting excited.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the party, you know. Sportsman Racing, back to the IHRA, will be quarter mile. Everybody's been asking about that for the last 3 months, and there it is. We need that. Like,
yeah.
We're not that advanced yet. We'll get there.
Yep, that's great at quarter mile tracks, obviously, because they got a few events that are at 8th mile tracks, and I mean, you can't expect much more.
Please don't ask if Galat's going to be quarter mile.
Right. Don't show up there mad expecting to go quarter mile.
IHRA will have a new website coming out at the end of this week or early next week. So that's good because their website has been very lackluster. And all the announcements have been on like Facebook and through third-party sites. So every time I go to their site, I haven't been able to find anything. And now I know why. They were building a new website that's going to be coming out this week. So
yeah,
we'll be on to that. How about this one, Walt? Orlando Speed World is banning all electric vehicles from competition. So
yeah, that's an interesting one, and I know how some people hate the electric vehicles and some people don't, but I in my opinion, with no inside knowledge, I just feel like excuse me, it's still there. I'm sorry, but the safety, it's kind of one of them things how they, the cars manufacturers do recalls and stuff like that. If you got to update your safety stuff and training for your people at your facility for 3 or 4 cars that show up every once in a while, may or may not show up, it's really not worth it. It's not cost effective to do all of this stuff or buy extra equipment, because they were talking about fires and different things, cars locking themselves with drivers in them and all of that stuff. And that takes special training and special equipment to combat. So I think it makes more sense just to say, hey, look, for now, we're banning these 3 or 4 people or 5 people or whatever for now. And then, yeah, because if it gets to be where it's all EV, then tracks are going to have to adapt to it. So.
Right. And that's what I was thinking. I know some people thought maybe it was because the cars are so repeatable and they're winning and have an unfair advantage. I kind of thought right off the bat it was more because of safety and fires that can't be put out, or that are very, very difficult to put out. So
if the electric cars were as repeatable as some people think, especially bracket racing, then there'd be a fire sale on dragsters all over the country. But now, if it's the weapon, if that was the weapon of choice, then everybody would be getting rid of these $200,000 dragsters and buying a Tesla and winning the same amount of money. That's not what it is.
Which we should do, and because we need to get Elon Musk to like drag racing, and then it'll be safe forever. So,
okay,
go buy a Tesla and go try to win something with it at a track that hasn't banned electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And then this weekend, Lenny Lodig's second annual Foot Brake Practice Tree Winter Nationals. So that's this Saturday, January 17th. It's a fundraiser for the children. You'll be sitting in one of two pro stock simulators. You have to hit the tree, you have to hit all your shifts, and you'll be shifting off of a shift light. And there will be sound effects by Portatree. It sounds pretty cool. And they'll add up all that time, and that'll be your package, and whoever's got the best package wins. So it's not just a flip of the button practice tree race. So very cool.
Are you entered, Bobby? Are you going?
I am not entered. I'm hoping I can get there. I really it's a far trek for me. And
the entire driver interviews with Bobby and Walt Nation is dependent on you, Bobby.
Oh boy. All right.
We're all dependent on you.
I got a call. I got a call from a potential sponsor today that wants me to go to this event and advertise for them, and we'll see. We'll see.
The entire nation, Bobby, is looking forward to you going to do this. No pressure.
We'll see. Game time decision. Yeah, no pressure. And we'll see. I didn't even ask. I got to ask my wife and see what she says. I know there's a basketball game this Saturday, so we'll see. All right. I guess that's pretty much it, man. Is there any other announcements? Oh, I took 2 SAT practice tests this week for tutoring, by the way, if anybody cares, because I tutor SAT math. But I like to take these tests every once in a while just to advertise the scores. And so my students and or prospective students know that I know what I'm talking about. And 2 tests, I got 1 wrong on each test. I got the last question wrong on both tests and got a 790 on both of them instead of the 800 that I wanted to get. So now I have to sign up for 2 more practice tests, which is a pain. But I got cocky, you know. I was cruising. I was cooking. I had 8 minutes left. I could have double-checked everything. And I said, nah, I know I'm right. Everything's right. Let's go. Submit it and let's get out of here. And, you know, they put some slick wording on them last couple questions, man. They throw curveballs. They do everything they can to trick you. And I got tricked, man. So, yep.
Lost in the finals.
Lost in the finals. Stupidity. Yep.
Well, my final announcement, not announcement, the final thing, happy anniversary to my wife, Sydney. Love you.
Is that today?
That is today.
All right.
That is today. Yeah, she's my favorite wife I've ever had. So,
what a lucky guy. What a lucky girl. All right. Well, we'll let you get out of here, Walt. Happy anniversary. Go enjoy some time with your wife, and I'll catch you next Tuesday. All right, buddy. Thanks for helping me out as always.
All right. Later.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Take care, Moody. Take care, Tom Baker. Walt, I'll let you go. You go enjoy. You go enjoy anniversary. I got to shout out some sponsors, and then I'm getting out of here.
Gotcha.
See you, buddy. All right, guys. Well, as always, we want to thank draginsights.com. Just want to let you know that they are doing some new stuff with the race playback. Like, you can see all the increments now. They got full increments being imported as we speak. And you can play the race, see what the margin of victory was, watch the 2 cars kind of go down the track. It's pretty cool. Become a premium member if you want to research all your opponents. If you're a free member, you can research yourself. VP Race Fuels, thank you very much for your help and support. We're going to get a tech segment in here pretty soon, hopefully. Fred Terza, we can get him on here to talk about specific engine combos, what fuel blends work best and whatnot. Rob Youngblood, we hope Rob Youngblood is healing up and on the mend. He had surgery recently, advancedclutches.com, and hope he can get back to doing what he loves to do. So hope you're feeling well, Rob Youngblood. And on top of that, I guess Rob Youngblood, who had surgery, I believe Nitro Joe had the same type of surgery. So let's hope Nitro Joe is feeling better. Nitro Joe, who does the stat book, he is, according to Class Racer, he was having, I think he had a heart attack and had to get bypassed. So hope Nitro Joe is feeling better. And Ray Minnick, without Ray Minnick, this isn't possible. RP Minnick, PC, that's RPM at rpminnick.com. He's the accountant. You got tax questions, He's an accountant that races. You're not going to find that too many places. So that's the guy you need to talk to. Run the race operation through your business. I think it's the best way to do it. Right, Ray? Right. Rocketmancoatings.com. Less friction equals more horsepower. Get your valve train, pistons, rings, pins. What else? Get it all coated. Less friction, less temperature, more horsepower, right? Gears, oil pump gears, transmission gears, proprietary coating. He actually does a lot of coating for the well-known engine builders. You just never heard of Rocket Man. He just does the coating. The engine builder never told you who was doing it. So thank you, rocketmancoatings.com. All right, guys. We appreciate you all listening and watching. Driverinterviews.com is my website. Check out that Master Racing calendar that I got on there, too, if you want to see the whole schedule for all of 2026. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you, everybody. Take care.